Hi everyone, it's Roland Cloutier, Global Chief Security Officer and Digital Enablement Executive. Welcome back to another episode in our series, Security Sparks, Insight for Pros, sponsored by New Era Technology. This week, I want to have a discussion on something that is on the minds of most every CEO around the globe, resiliency. Resiliency comes in all shapes and sizes, and many executives are responsible for different portions of resiliency in their organizations, from the CIO to the chief of ERM, the CISO, the head of facilities, chief product officer, and even chief marketing officers. There are many types of resiliency that a business has to consider. Today, I'd like to look at the two most probable types of resiliency a CSO or a CISO will be involved in. The first type of resiliency is the broader aperture of what is commonly referred to as Business Resiliency Programs, or BRP. Business resiliency is often inclusive of operations such as business impact analysis, business continuity planning, disaster recovery, and crisis management. The second and more focused type of resiliency that CISOs are involved in is cyber resilience. This is our responsibility as practitioners to ensure that our technical business ecosystem has reasonable defenses in place to withstand negative impact cyber events like ransomware, distributed denial of service, data center attacks, and platform operation cyber attacks. Today, I'm going to focus on BRP. I mentioned all of the functions associated with BRP, BIAs, BCPs, DR, and crisis management. But it takes many minds and many cross-business initiatives to effectively implement any one of these. And depending on what industry you're in and what type of internal or external operations your business is accountable for, there are a wide range of programs that you have to build and implement to be effective in this area. So let me give you the top 10 things you can do to get your BRP launched and in good order. The first thing we have to do may actually be the hardest, because that's where we have to define what our responsibilities are. In phase one, we are creating a charter and accountability view for the business. Sometimes we are not accountable for all aspects of the BRP program. For instance, we may only have operations or oversight. Or two components of the entirety of the program, or maybe we have all operations. For example, DR, or disaster recovery, is typically operationally implemented by either a CIO organization or a facilities organization. You have a technology component to get the business up and operating, but you also have a physical location component that is necessary for the business to run as well. It is key to help your business define the charter, who is accountable for what, and what your specific role is leading this initiative. The second area is all about creating expectations and capabilities. This is where we define clear service definitions in the regions we are going to operate in. Think about this as a service catalog and SLAs. We are going to perform business impact analysis, or are we only going to provide business continuity planning? Do we actually build the plans, or do we consult and let the business build the plans? I know this may sound simple, but it's important to fit your BRP to the structure of your organization. This is also true of regionality and jurisdiction. Sometimes businesses have independent operating entities around the globe, while others often have centralized service capabilities. Sometimes you can provide a centralized planning service, but execution will be handled in the local regions. This is all part of the second phase of identifying how business resiliency will work in your company. Your third to do is to leverage the heck out of standards-based programs, frameworks, and guidance that has already been created by experts in this area. Standards like ISO 22301 or programs developed by FEMA, such as the National Incident Management System and the Incident Command System, or ICS, for crisis management, can all be used as a basis for developing your plans and operations. Now, I'm sure I'll get a couple of comments on this, but I believe the fourth order of business needs to be the implementation of our operational platform technologies for business resiliency service management. Gone are the days where you can reuse Word documents full of business continuity plans written from someone 8 years ago who's probably not even with the business anymore. Our business continuity response and crisis management capabilities must be living documents based on the business's current status today. Additionally, because our data centers are often impacted, we need to be strongly considering using SaaS offerings that deliver this functionality to us in any of the formats we work, inclusive of mobile. These should be integrated with disaster recovery, crisis management, and notification platforms. From a cyber perspective, think of this as a platform management capability specific for business resiliency. It is technology and process automation that will enable you to provide the totality of the necessary services at speed and across the entirety of your business. The fifth order of business is to start understanding how to prioritize. Since you can't do everything at once and things need to be done in an order that is most impactful to your business operations, you should start with business impact analysis and risk prioritization. This is actually a great exercise to start testing your technology support platforms, the team's understanding of the business, and how we integrate with our business partners. This outcome will be a greater understanding of how our operations operate, how critical and key systems and process work, and other issues that we can then risk prioritize to ensure the continuity of operations, prioritization that the business and leadership can decide on. The next thing you can do to implement and accelerate your capabilities is to partner with organizations that have done it before. Often, you only need a small team to operate and manage a lifecycle approach to business resiliency programs, but implementing them is more complicated and needs to be accomplished in a short amount of time to get the business up and operating on an industry standard capability. There are many consulting and advisory services out there that provide services in this space. Find them and use them to reduce deployment time and educate your team at the same time. Item number 7 is about parallel training operations during program development. From core service delivery and business resiliency to crisis management at all levels, to even disaster recovery drills, there is a lot of training that has to happen in organizations that have never had a formalized business resiliency capability. Don't wait to the end of your program implementation to start this process. Take the opportunity to hold training programs on policies and procedures and tabletop exercise while your operations are being developed. Often you can find bugs in what you're building and get them resolved before a formal go-live date. Number 8 is to make sure that there is executive oversight on the capability. Use existing committees if you can and if possible, and deliver actionable metrics such as percentage of the organization prepared, number of BCPs not tested or not updated, failed testing, and other metrics to help you get your arms around ensuring a lifecycle management process and providing key capability insights to the oversight team. Now, rounding the corner to the finish line is number 9, and that is to start to expand your BCP program to your key providers in your third-party and digital ecosystem, inclusive of your supply chain. You can't possibly include all your providers. However, start to make plans on how you would address critical issues with your grossly important partners. And number 10, my personal favorite, is to test your core team. Ensure that you have a multi-tier crisis management exercise for those internally and for external experts as well. Tell them to test the plans and processes you have in place. Consider the use of a crisis management range that takes entire teams and creates realistic scenarios for them to manage and work through. It's an educational experience not many get to have before things actually go bad. As a senior security leaders, we are being asked more and more to develop and deliver critical resiliency functions for our businesses, and quite frankly, we should. By diving in as a cross-functional business resiliency protection leader, you will show your flexibility and importance not just as a security leader, but as a business leader as well. I hope this has sparked some ideas for you and your teams, and I look forward to the next in our series of Security Sparks, Insight for Pros.